fraction division, we're going to focus on unit fraction divided by whole. So again, we have a lot of stuff going on here, but what I want you to focus on is that there's two ways to think about division, and we're going to focus on the top one here, where when we're dividing, we're kind of thinking we're dividing by the number of groups we want to make. When we do that, our answer, our quotient, is going to be the size of the groups. So if we kind of just keep that in mind as we're working through these next problems, it'll make it much easier. So we're dividing by the number of groups we want, and our answer is going to be the size of the group. In words, we're going to take whatever our total is, divide it by how many groups we want, and our answer will be the size. Okay, so we're going to do 4 examples here. Each one is going to start with half a candy bar. So in the first one, we're going to divide it into 2 pieces. We're going to take half a candy bar and split it into 2. When we do that, the candy bar gets smaller, or at least the pieces do, because if you start with half and you cut it into pieces, you're going to end up with a smaller piece. So each piece is going to end up being 1/4 of a candy bar in size. Each piece is 1/4 of a candy bar in size. You got to remember, if you're taking something that's small and sharing it, which is what division is, with, say, 2 people, each person's going to get an even smaller part. You both can't end up with half a candy bar if you only started with half a candy bar, nor could you end up with a whole candy bar if you only ever had half a candy bar. So remember, if you're starting with something small and you're sharing it, you're going to get smaller. It's a good way to check your answer for reasonableness. Let's do the next example. Again, we're going to start with half a candy bar. This time we're going to divide it into 3 pieces. When we do that, it's going to get even smaller. If we count these pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're going to end up with 1/6. Now, be careful here. Let me go back up here. We're dividing by 3, but you'll see 6 pieces here. But keep in mind, we're starting with only half. We're cutting that half into 3 pieces. To fill this entire candy bar, it would take 3 more. That tells us how big each of these pieces are. So that's why it goes to 6, even though we're only had 3 pieces there. Each piece is 1/6 of a candy bar in size. Okay, next one, we're going to start with a half, and we're divided into 4 pieces. You can see the pieces are getting smaller each time. This time we're going to end up with just 1/8, and count these pieces up, and end up with 8 equal pieces. And last but not least, we're going to share it with 5 people, or cut it into 5 pieces, and the pieces get even smaller. We're going to end up with 1/10. So if you think about this, to reason this out, if you were going to have, it could be a candy bar, it could be a piece of cake, it could be $100, whatever it is, if you're going to share it, the more people you share it with, the less each person is going to get. So if you share it with just you and a friend, that's sharing with 2 people, you're going to get a decent sized piece of the candy bar. But if you share it with 5 people, 5 total people are going to share, you're going to get a very, very small little sliver of that candy bar, as you see down below here. Okay, let's try a word problem. Lewis and his 3 friends are hungry. They decide to eat leftover pizza. They discover only half a pizza left. How much of a full pizza will each person get? So we're starting out with a picture of a pizza, just blank, and we need to pull out some information from this word problem that's going to help us solve this. Okay, so first thing is, you've got to figure out what you're dividing up. In this case, you're dividing up half a pizza. So we're going to go ahead and color in half a pizza there. And now what are we going to do with it? That's how much we start out with. Lewis and his 3 friends are hungry. Okay, so what are they going to do to this half here? Well, if it's Lewis and 3 friends, that's 4 total people that plan to eat. So we need to take that half and cut it into 4 equal slices. So it's going to look something like this. So we're going to take this half and divide it by 4. Then, how do we get our answer? How much of a full pizza is each person going to get? Well, this picture here is going to represent what one person would get. Not necessarily what we have, but what one person. So this might be Lewis. Lewis is going to get 1 of these slices, and that's going to be 1/8 of a full pizza. You always need to compare to a whole, not to what you start with, compare to a whole. Okay, our answer is going to be 1/8, but again, go back to up here and figure out, well, what does 1/8 mean? So 1/8 of a chicken, that sounds unpleasant or delicious. 1/8 of a pizza. They're asking how much of a full pizza. Everyone's going to get 1/8. Okay, again, why does this kind of seem like multiplication? There's some multiplication feelings going on here. Okay, we're going to take our reciprocal of what we're dividing by, 4. Now remember, 4 as a fraction is 4 over 1, so the reciprocal will be 1/4. And we can take our division number sentence and use keep, change, flip to convert this to a multiplication sentence. We're going to keep the 1/2. We're going to change the sign to multiplication, and we're going to flip 4 to 1/4. When we multiply straight across, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 4 is 8, and we get our 1/8. So that is one option you can do. It's not necessary, especially if you're using a diagram. You can reason it out that way. But this is one option, another tool to have in your toolbox when solving unit fractions divided by whole numbers.